Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we came across with the Data Bridge Lite, a 3-tier web application. And by the end of that specific video, we learned that we were doing many things manually. We were executing those Docker file commands, the build command, everything was been done manually. And at the end of that video, we came to know that there is one method that can be automated and that can be done with the help of Docker Compose file. Now, what actually is a Docker Compose file? Docker Compose file is nothing but a single file written in YAML that consists of all the instructions that are required for our application to run. Now, if you remember, we were creating the MySQL DB. We were waiting for 10 seconds for MySQL to boot up perfectly. Then we were initializing the backend. Then finally, we were booting up the front end service. Now finally, after doing all of them, the system was running perfectly for Data Bridge Lite. Now when it comes to Docker Compose, all you have to do is just run Docker Compose up and your work will be done. But how to define those instructions? For that you will need to understand YAML. And what actually is YAML? So let's understand in this video. So what is YAML? YAML is nothing but yet and another markup language. YAML is basically a format which is used to write the data in very clean and human readable format. And basically think of it just like a structured way of writing information that can be readable for both human and machine, so that everyone can understand easily. Now in DevOps world, YAML is like everywhere. Like whenever you work with DevOps tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, YAML becomes mandatory over there. So whenever you are working with Docker, YAML comes into the picture. When you are dealing with Docker Compose, when you are working with Kubernetes, YAML is essential because all the manifest files are actually written in YAML, right? So in our case, for Docker Compose, we write a file called docker-compose.yaml. That entire file is actually written with the help of YAML. So if you don't understand YAML clearly, Docker Compose will be a kind of confusing for you. So let's understand YAML, and once you understand YAML, things will be very much easier for you. So now let's compare YAML with JSON. So most of you might already know JSON, but it's more machine friendly than human friendly. You have brackets, you have quotes, you have commas. It's look a bit cluttered when the file is big. But when it comes to YAML, it removes all the unnecessary clutters and noise. So instead of writing something like the curly braces like it is written in the JSON, you will just write app : followed by a single space node. So here we are not cluttering everything, and it is actually more readable. So here the main idea is YAML focuses on readability, and there are less symbols that are used, and it is giving us more clarity. And this is why tools like Docker and Kubernetes prefer YAML. So let us understand few rules when we are dealing with YAML. So there are 3 golden rules that we need to keep in mind when we are working with YAML. And if you understand these rules, you will avoid literally 90% of the errors. Rule number 1, that is always use spaces, never use tabs. So YAML does not like tabs at all. If you add that extra space using the tabs, it will actually break your file. So remember, whenever you are dealing with YAML file, make sure you are always writing with the help of spaces. Whenever you want to give spaces, make sure you are using the space button, not the tab button. Okay, second rule, that is indentation matters. Now in YAML, indentation is not just a formatting, it actually defines a structure. Meaning, if something is indented inside something else, then the meaning is simple. It says that this A things belongs to that B thing. That is key value format. Everything in YAML is written in key value format, and it is very much important because there must be a space after colon. Now here if you see, if I write port 3000, so basically I need to make sure that after this colon one single space is written. So now here is the catch. So even if a single space mistake is present, then it can break your entire file. That's why most of the people struggle with YAML, not because it is hard, because it is strict. Now let's understand data types. Now in every programming language, we know there are data types. Now what actually data types? The type of data that is used. It can be integer if it is a number, it can be float if it is a decimal value, if it can be a string if it is something related to text. But when we are dealing with YAML, the good thing is you don't have to explicitly define the data type like we do in programming language. YAML automatically detects it, and that's the reason it understands what actually you try to say. So here let's take the example of this one. If you write 3000, it understand it is nothing but a number. If you write true, it understand that you are talking about boolean. If you write null, then it is understanding that it is nothing but a string. But sometimes to avoid confusion, we use quotes. So in Docker Compose, it becomes very much important when you are dealing with quotes and environment variable. So always you have to keep this thing in mind, that what value you are writing. Now let's go and understand about lists. So what is list? So list are basically multiple values under one key. Now if you remember, I gave you the example that your mom is going to a mall where she is purchasing goods for you and you provide them with a list. Same thing goes over here. Now here if you see, the items are defined here with the help of dash. That gives a specific list here, right? The list of ports. So in YAML, lists are written using a dash and followed by a space. So each dash represents one item in that list. For example, if you have multiple ports, multiple volumes, or multiple environment variables, this is how you will define them, like the example which is shown over here. So in Docker Compose, you will use list a lot, and specifically you will be using this in ports, volume, and maximum time you will be using list in environment variable. So the syntax is something that you should be aware of and you should be very much comfortable with. Just make sure after this colon there is single space present. This goes inside posts, and then after this hyphen there is again one single space, and followed by you can define the ports. Right now let's talk about maps. It is a very important concept. So maps are basically the key value pairs grouped together. So if I put this into simpler terms, you define a key and inside that key you define more keys. So this is exactly how Docker Compose works. For example, let's say you define a service, and inside that service you define web, and inside that web you define the image that is actually used. So so basically it becomes a kind of hierarchy. So think of it just like folders inside the folder. So this structure is what makes YAML powerful, because here it is giving us the feasibility to define the structure within the structure. Now since we are talking about structure, let's talk about nesting. So if there is one concept that you should master in YAML, it is nothing but nesting. So nesting means placing one thing inside another using the indentation. So each level of indentation belongs to the above item. So when you see something like services, app, images, so it means that app belongs to service and the ports and images belongs to app. So now here is basically where we can make mistake, is mess up the indentation. YAML will completely change the meaning, or it will throw the error. So always read the YAML just like a tree structure, where the top things becomes the parent and the one inside it becomes the child. So here the services becomes the parent of app, and the images and ports become the child of app, and here app becomes the parent, and basically whatever goes inside it becomes the child, right? So now let's talk about comments. Now why comments are used in programming language? It's basically used for documentation. Same happens over here. So comments are very simple, but it is very useful. So when you want to explain something to someone for your YAML file, you make use of this hash symbol, and this is something that is used for writing the comments. And this is especially helpful when you're dealing with the real world projects where your YAML file is very large. At that time you can use this for explaining what service does what and what certain configuration is added and why it is added. So always use comments to make your files more readable for others, and you can even use it for future self, so that whenever you are referring the same YAML file again, you will have that comments written over there, and it would be easier for you to understand, okay, why these things is been added. Now let's talk about strings and quote. So in YAML, quotes are optional in many cases, but sometimes they are required. So for example, you have special characters like colon or numbers with dots like float value. So in Docker Compose, ports like 3000 colon 3000, which you can see over here, should always be on quotes. Why? Because without quotes, YAML might misinterpret it. So it's a very good practice to write it in quotes. So a basic suggestion, basically whenever you are in doubt, just add the quotes and it will prevent the unexpected errors. Now let's talk about multi-line strings. So this is something that is used very rarely, but when you are dealing with multiple lines of text like scripts or command, you will make use of multi-line strings. So basically, in order to pass the multi-line strings, the first thing that you will need to pass is this pipe. and followed by the command that you want to run. So this is not a very common basic thing that you use in Docker Compose, but in advanced setups like whenever you are running any script, it becomes very useful. So just remember, a pipe symbol is equals to multi-line block that will help you to run the commands, right? Now let's talk about environment variables. Now here comes the main part, because in Docker Compose, environment variables are very common, and YAML allows you to define the environment variables into format. So whenever you are dealing with Docker Compose, you might see either two of this method. Okay, so let's talk about the first way. So the first way is map style, and the second one is the list style. When we are talking about map style, it is separated with a key value pair by a colon, and when we are talking about list, it is basically written in a list manner, and here you can see a hyphen, a dash present over here. So both are correct, both works the exactly same, but in real projects, teams usually prefer to choose any one of them to stay consistent. So basically that was the main reason for me to add environment variable section over here, because you should be comfortable in reading both of them. Now let's talk about what are the common mistakes that we can make as a beginner when we are writing the YAML files. So the number one is using tabs. Now you might be hearing this from the starting itself from me, that whenever you are dealing with YAML, please avoid tabs, use spaces, right? Second is like wrong indentation. If the alignment is wrong, the YAML will break. And YAML is very much specific when it comes to indentation. It follows strict indentation rule. Third is mixing list and map incorrectly. So these are the small mistakes that a beginner can make when it is when he or she is dealing with Docker Compose, and that's the reason it fails, and that is absolutely normal. Don't worry about that. The more YAML files you write, the more practice, the more hands-on you will do, the more confidence you will get over the YAML, right? So these small mistakes are the biggest reason why Docker Compose fails for beginners. So whenever you are getting an error, don't panic, just open the YAML and check the structure, because maximum issues are nothing but it is the indentation issues, it is due to structure, and it may be due to the tabs. Now let's take an example. Okay, now think of it as a person's profile. Now that person can be anything. Now here we are taking the example of Rahul. Now you have a person with name Rahul, and he has a lot of skills to present. So how do we write in YAML? So basically it is very much easy. In order to write it in a structurized way, we will define the key name person. Now since there can be multiple person, we wrote it inside that person. We provided one space followed by name. Again there is a space, we provided with the name, and within that name we provided skills. Now skill can be a list, there can be multiple things that he can offer. That's the reason we defined Docker and Jenkins over there. So if you understand this example properly, then Docker Compose will feel very much easy to you. This is because internally it's just a structure that actually it is using, right? So let's take this carefully, and here we have a real Docker Compose file. And if you look closely, there is nothing new over here. Here you see maps, list, and nesting. It's just all the combination of these three things which we already run right now. So Docker Compose is not just a new concept, it's just a YAML applied to the containers. Here you can see we have two services, front end and back end. Front end is used with the image name Nginx, and back end is used with the image name Node. Right? So yeah, that's all for today, where I wanted to give you a brief about YAML. And basically this will give you the clarity how does YAML works, like what things to take care of when you are writing a YAML file. So if you understand this video properly, you have cleared one more biggest hurdles in DevOps, that is writing the YAML file. Now in the next video we will go to take it to the next level, because we are going to write the actual compose file, and trust me, you will enjoy a lot. So yeah, that was all in this video. And don't worry, if you want the documentation for this specific MD, this is already published to my GitHub repository. Go to sub repository number 14 and it is already published over there. So yeah, that was all in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, keep learning, and thank you very much.